Welcome to Rails Minute, our effort to bring you short videos where you can find out more about what is happening with our library system. I'm Dan Bostrom, Rails Member Engagement Manager, and I'm here with Monica Harris, Rails Executive Director. Hello, Monica.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, okay, so we are talking about voting. Voting has wrapped up for the Rails board election. Can you talk a little bit about turnout and what the next steps are that our members can expect?
Absolutely. So the voting has closed at this point. We were really excited because we made this huge effort to try to get the word out about voting this year. So some of you may have seen some social media posts or gotten a flyer in your delivery bin, really encouraging you to vote. And I do want to say thank you to all of you who did vote. This year we got 321 votes, which is huge for us because normally we get around 200. So 321 votes means that we hit upwards of more than a quarter of our Rails members actually voted in the election this year, which is incredible. And so we're really excited to be able to share who won the election with you soon. So in terms of next steps, our nominating committee will meet on May 31st, where they will certify the election and go through the process. And then we will let those folks who won know that they will be the next members of the Rails board, and then it will be publicized to the Rails membership, and you'll get to see more then.
Great, thank you, Monica.
Of course.
Monica, you just wrapped up your meet and greet tour. You've been all over the Rails territory talking with folks. Can you talk a little bit about the lessons you've learned, the things that people might want to know about?
Well, we've been really excited to do these events. We did 7 events all throughout the entire Rails membership area. And while we know we could have lots more places to visit, we're so grateful for the libraries who actually came out to these and really talked to us about all of the different ways that Rails can support them and let us know more just about what they're facing, whether that's challenges that they're facing or things that they're excited about. There was a lot of opportunities to hear more from folks about what was important to them. People shared so much with us across so many different areas. They shared things about the increases in costs of things in general, but things specifically like construction costs for projects that they had planned for such a long time, and now they cost twice as much as they used to. We've heard from school librarians who are really concerned about retirements that are happening and then those positions not being replaced and what they can do to really support and help their colleagues who are facing these sort of similar situations throughout Illinois. We've also heard about all of the Rails services that people really appreciate and support, how many people really rely on delivery in order to get materials to their communities. But we've also heard more about things like Explore More, which people are so excited to see how many attractions have come to that program recently, and that was great to hear. We've heard about how important our Deals and Discounts program is to them, and we know that there's been over $1 million in savings this year, but getting to hear from people directly about how important that is to them was a really interesting and helpful process for us. So it was just great to get the chance to meet with people directly, and I do want to thank anybody that took the time to get together, come to those meetings, and let us know what you were thinking. We're so grateful for that opportunity to hear that. And if anybody else has anything else that you want to share with us going forward, please, please, please reach out to anybody here at Rails. We really appreciate what you have to share with us, and we promise that we are considering it as we move into this next fiscal year.
Some of the questions I'm sure you got at some of these these meet and greets were about legislative issues, and I feel like I ask you about these all the time now. Can you talk a little bit about what's going on in the legislative sessions and what people can sort of expect?
Yeah, so we did give you an update at the last meeting, and kind of the direction that things are going is pretty similar. So House Bill 2789, which is the bill around book banning that was sponsored by the Secretary of State, that has now passed the House and Senate, and it is now moving to the governor for signature, and he is expected to sign. If the governor does sign that bill, then the Illinois State Library will go through a period of administrative rule development, and then those rules will be made available to every library in the state so that they can have that available for a comment period. So I think you can expect to see those rules sometime after July 1st. We do want to encourage all of our Rails members to take a look at them, see how they'll affect you, and make sure that you're communicating that with the Illinois State Library so that they can keep those pieces under account, and then if the governor does sign, the new law would be in place beginning January 1st, 2024. There is also the License to Read Act, which is out of the Senate. That has also now passed the Senate and the House and is expected to be moved to the governor relatively soon. If that bill is signed, it would allow the Secretary of State to have the opportunity to negotiate ebooks or the essentially reasonable terms for ebooks with publishers. And so the Secretary of State, if that goes through, will, I'm sure, be looking at lots of options to understand the programs in the state, and they'll really want to make sure that they're able to help everybody in Illinois with some of these really big issues we've heard about ebooks and pricing and how people are only able to afford very few things and not get the community what they need. So we're very interested to see where that goes. The third big piece has to do with the budget. And so I know we let you know last time that the Secretary of State was including $5 million as an annual appropriation for a statewide database program that would be included in his budget. Now, that budget has not yet passed. And so as of this recording, we are awaiting to see if the budget does pass. We're cautiously optimistic based on what we've heard that that may go through. And of course, we would be very excited if that statewide database program is approved, because we think it would have huge, huge impact on members in Illinois.
Yeah, so speaking of budgets, we're talking about Rail's budget. We are moving into a new fiscal year this summer. And I know that there are a lot of exciting plans, including around equity, diversity, inclusion efforts that Rails is doing. Can you talk more about that for our members?
Yeah, I'll tell you about a couple of them, although we're planning lots of things and we're really excited to tell you more about them as the year goes on. The first is a trustee training program. So we have heard directly from members, and especially from our EDI-focused board committee, that while they appreciate a lot of the best practice development that's currently happening in the state, it's really hard to get things moving forward without buy-in from your leadership, which includes trustees. And one area that we think really could use some more support is some trustee training around EDI, or equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility. And so our EDI consultant, Biz Lindsay Ryan, also serves as a trustee, and so she's going to develop some programming that's specifically for library trustees so they can learn more about best practices in EDI, which I think would be a really wonderful opportunity. The other big piece that we're really excited to share is last year we had a cohort program where we actually had 40 different folks from all over Rails Libraries member territory take part in a multi-step training around EDI, where people had the opportunity to learn more about EDI principles and go through that process. We thought about whether or not we wanted to do that process exactly the same way this year and looked at a few other options. And we were able to come across a program called Freedom Lifted. Some people may actually be familiar with the Freedom Lifted program because PLA actually offers a discount for that program. It is an EDI focused by facilitator Mia Henry, and it is a 4 to 5 hour asynchronous program where people can really learn a lot about EDI themselves through these programs. We actually were able to get access to the Freedom Lifted program for all Rails members for next fiscal year. And so we'll be telling more about that program and when it will launch, but we're really excited for the possibility, not just for 40 people, to have the opportunity to go through this training, but to have many, many more actually go through training like this, and maybe for libraries to create their own cohorts and groups so that they can learn together. So much more to share on that coming soon, but we just wanted to share it because we're really excited that that's coming in our next fiscal year.
Yeah, those are amazing developments. Thank you. Okay. So if you have any questions for Monica or myself, you can always email us at communications@railslibraries.org, or you can leave a comment under this video. Monica, thank you so much for coming and talking with me.
Thanks so much for having me.
And thank you to everyone for watching.
Bye, everybody.